Hello, I'm Stuart Bloor.
And I'm Debbie Bloor.
And it's our anniversary week and we're on Anglesey, and being the old romantic I am, I'm bringing my wife out rock fishing after wrasse. Anyway, we're going to have a bit of a competition, I think, Deb.
Yep, definitely.
So I've set you up with a hand line, but with a proper setup on there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go with a float, and we're going to see who can cast the most.
Yeah.
So is that the competition today then?
Yes,
definitely.
Okay. And I'm getting a head start, so...
Yeah, I've already got you set up there. So get your worm on, cast out, and away you go, and I'll get my gear, and then we'll see where we go from there.
Right.
So who's going to win?
You, I think. I'll play safe.
Well, we'll see anyway, but the most important thing is, like all sorts of fishing really, it's about enjoying it, isn't it? And we've done this before, haven't we? So we know what to expect, and we really have a good time. Yeah. It's a beautiful day as well.
It's a nice day,
yeah. So let's go.
Okay, off we go.
Deb's now fishing. She was a little bit squirmish with the worms, which is understandable of course, but she's overcome that and she's out there now off the rocks. Anyway, I'll show you my setup. As I've said already, I'm fishing with a float, and there it is, just a small one. Not much of a chop today on the surface, so I don't need a big float at all. And above the float, I've got, can you see there? Yep, I've got a bead. And then above that, a bit like pike fishing really with a float, I've got a stop knot which I've tied with some silicone, so I can see that. So that'll be very noticeable, very visible in the water, so I can change the depth as the tide varies, because it's coming in at the moment. And also as well, when I present the bait, I want it to be at the level where the fish are. So that's important really, to be able to change it, not to have anything that's fixed. And beneath the float, I've got a lead there, just a small one, just to take it down, another bead, a swivel, I've got a hook length of mono, and then I've got a size 2 hook, Aberdeen pattern. So I'll thread the worm up there, I'm fishing with ragworm, I'll thread the worm up there and away I'll go. Not a wrasse, but look at that for a beautiful looking creature. Isn't it fantastic? Looks like it should be an Anglesey Sea Zoo. And what a colourful little creature that was on the float. It's an exciting way of fishing, in coarse fishing of course, but when you're on the sea and the float is bobbing around and suddenly it disappears, so it really does go down with some speed. You know you've got a fish on. This actually is our second session. Well, I say our second session. I'm on my own now. I popped out for an hour or so to the local rocks. We didn't catch anything yesterday. That's the way it goes. Mind you, we only had an hour and a half, so it was only, as we said, fun fishing. So it ended in a goalless draw. But got another session coming tomorrow. Get my wife back out on the rocks. See if we can get a wrasse or two between us. Anyway, I'm hoping to get one myself this morning, of course. And this is what I came for. A beautiful wrasse. Another day and another session on the rocks. And as you can no doubt see, I've got my woolly hat on today and my all-in-one suit. It's pretty chilly really, relatively speaking of course, because it is the summer. But it's an early morning start. We've got some heavy rain forecast later, and not that I have an issue with fishing in heavy rain. If you follow my blogs you'll realise that. But I have decided to let my wife off. After all, she's not an angler, and our little go on the rocks for the wrasse was just a bit of fun. So with some heavy rain and some winds, storms really, in a sense, coming in later, I've decided to excuse her. Well, it is our wedding anniversary after all. But no excuse for me. And I'm out seeing if I can nab a fish. And I've already had a bite as well this morning. The float dipped right the way down, but the fish, whatever it was, just took the end of the worm that was hanging enticingly off the edge of the hook. But let's see if I can catch it again, or its big brother. I'm not a blanker. Look at the size of that. hit the bait. He's probably about half the length of that fish. Lovely. It's my final morning on Anglesey. We'll be going home soon, and I'm up at the crack of dawn to have a last go on the rocks. Walking back to the car now. I didn't catch anything. Mind you, I saw ring plover, sandwich tern, rock pipits and a guillemot that was just off the coast. So if you're going to Blank, that's a nice enough environment to do it in. Check out my website. I put a blog on every Saturday, or I've put a blog on every Saturday since the summer of 2003. And although I'm mostly a coarse fisherman, there's a fair bit of sea angling done in that time. If you're on Facebook or Twitter, then like my page and follow me via those social media mediums as well. And above all, if you're out and about yourself, tight lines and enjoy your fishing.